Anytime after a little liquor, a little coquito, your eyes just starts twinkling, and next thing you know, wow. So the Pope has something to say about it, though. What does he say about sins of the flesh? He said, dude, it's not that serious. What?
What?
So, from our peoples at the New York Post, Pope Francis says that lust is not the worst of the 7 deadly sins. There are
the German Pope?
The Catholic Pope. The Catholic Pope, Pope Francis. Mr. Argentina himself. So
this is the same Pope that don't believe in birth control, bro. So
wow.
Skeet in the backseat. Oh, never. But anyway,
so
there are worse indiscretions than sex outside of marriage. The leader of the Catholic Church told reporters on the papal plane that was en route to Greece, from Greece to Italy, about a couple weeks ago. He said, "Sins of the flesh are not the most serious. Top transgressions instead include pride and hatred," according to other commentaries that was reported through Reuters. Francis' rankings of the worst wrongdoings followed the resignation of a Paris archbishop who quit over a relationship with a woman earlier this month. However, the 70-year-old French cleric, now let's rewind that. This French cleric, Paris archbishop, had a relationship with a woman, 70-year-old brother. Okay, go ahead with your bad self. So he denied being intimate with an anonymous female, and that the behavior would break his promise of celibacy. It was a failing against the 6th commandment, you should not commit adultery, but not a total one. So wait a minute, this guy was cheating. Hold up, let's look at this again. This cleric, 70-year-old cleric, broke the 6th commandment. 6th commandment is adultery. Oh shit.
Was he? But he wasn't married.
But he's a cleric. He's almost like a priest. He's a quasi priest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I
almost like.
Well, I don't know. Grab the dictionary. Figure it out.
Almost like and married.
Yeah.
No, the woman. You saying was a woman married, or was the woman that he was messing with?
The woman had to be married because you see, if like I said, the quote says here, it was a failing against the 6th commandment, which is you shall not commit adultery, but not a total one. One of the small caresses, massages given to his secretary, that is what the accusation is. But the Pope said that there is a sin there, but not the worst kind. So then this cleric must have been a little bit rubby, touchy. And I don't see that as a 6th commandment breakage, but I do see that as maybe a little harassment. Okay, that's a little bit different. But here's a question. In my opinion, if Pope Francis is saying that, sins of the flesh are not that serious, and all these other 7 deadly sins are, which they are, they're pretty high up there. I mean, do you agree with this, Cortez?
You gotta remember, this is a different type of Pope, man, compared to the popes of previous generations, man.
Okay.
This Pope is a what's the word? I'm not gonna say
is he a
progressive.
trailblazer? He's a trailblazer.
Trailblazer / progressive.
Okay.
In that sense, so the attitude is, you're gonna make mistakes, but keep in mind, folks, if you make these mistakes, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences.
Okay.
As well. You got to deal with the spiritual consequence as well as the physical consequence of your actions. So that's something to think about, especially if you are married in a situation and you decide to go outside your marriage. Yeah, you have committed adultery. In some words.
Yeah, but
that situation with him caressing the woman's shoulder, I don't know what it deemed, unless he had lustful thoughts. But if it wasn't any kind of penetration,
no poking. There was no Pokemon. No Pokemon.
And I'm saying that I can't see it as being adultery. To be honest, man. Sometimes you might flirt with your coworker or whatever, man.
True.
Yeah, that's all you're doing. But if you take it to the next level. I think
you could be right. You could be right, Cortez. I mean, it's really sketchy. GPS though, Pope Francis saying, it's not that serious. I mean, kind of shocking, kind of bold.
I would have to request to sit down to see what his list of not that serious is, because clearly any sexual misconduct should be high on the list, but if it's not for whatever reason he deems, I would really like to know, because if we could get that into the secular realm, well then guess what? Cosby would be exonerated, but then on the other side, so would Trump. So I don't know. I would really have to know what he's really thinking about this.
Yeah, that's a very touchy subject. That's a pot that's too hot to stir. It is. I mean, it's weird you've grown up Catholic all your life, then you hear that. It's like, it's not that bad. So are you condoning it now? I mean, now it's okay to do? Is that what you're trying to say? You know, I mean, compared to what are the other what is it? Gluttony, envy, sloth. What else?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, and you said 7 deadly sins. I mean, if this one is permissible, then why can we apply it to the other 6?
Yeah. Does this become a precedent for all the other ones now? So
I guess, man. I feel like we water things down, man, to fit our lifestyles. We know it's wrong. We know it's wrong, but we water it down to make ourselves feel empowered and less guilty about what we do, man. I think that's what's happening with a lot of stuff. So I feel as though the Pope, he's at that point where I think there's gonna be other issues he's gonna water down, which he's been doing over the years since he's been in office. He's been watering down a few things, man. It's just, how much are you going to keep watering stuff down, man? For example, thou should not kill. How can you water that down?
Yeah, how do you water that down?
Saying, he murdered that person by accident. Or better yet, it was self-defense. Those are when you start dealing with certain issues, man, where you had to, the doctrine, it's like, it's not, we know what the doctrine says, but we come up with our own versions of it, man.